Okay, today we're going to make image transfer to fabric. We're working with muslin and we're going to make a lavender sachet out of our piece of fabric after we're done. And to do that we're going to use a Chartpak Blender pen, an image that is printed out of a laser printer or a toner copy, so a photocopy or a laser print. We need a bone folder, or you could use a spoon, just something to burnish. We're going to be using lavender and a funnel. An option is these little iron-on crystals to embellish, an iron and a sewing machine, and a little bit of muslin fabric. You need a natural fabric for this, and you want it to be a nice tight weave. So let's get started. We're going to take our image and we're going to place it. If there's any text in it, first of all, I just want to point out, if there's any text in it, you want to reverse the text on your computer before you print it out, because what we're doing is we're flipping this face down onto our fabric. We're going to take the Chartpak Blender pen and we're going to start to color on the back side of this, and immediately you see the paper turns translucent and you can see your image coming through the paper. What you want to do is you want to stop after you get a little bit of it done and burnish it with the rounded part of this. I'm holding the paper in place. You could optionally tape everything down, but you just want to hold it in place so that you can lift the paper up and see if your image has transferred or not. I'm going to color another little section of it. I'm not doing the entire thing because this blender pen evaporates really quickly. I just want to get it nice and juicy in a section and then burnish it. And then color another section of it. And then burnish it. I can lift the paper to see how it's doing. It looks like it's coming along pretty nicely. I'm going to finish it up here. I'm going in little circles and I'm letting all of the juice from this pen really saturate the paper. And then pressing down hard too, that helps transfer as well. And I'm going in circles. I'm not using the edge of my burnishing tool or my bone folder. I'm using the rounded part of it. And again, just pressing down in circles. What's happening is this Chartpak Blender pen is softening the toner on the surface of my paper. And what's happening with the burnishing tool is that I'm now pressing that toner, that softened toner, down into the fibers of the fabric. And what I generally do, again, I'm holding it down so that I'm not shifting it. I'll lift it up and see if there's any areas that I want to come back and get a little bit darker, and I can color over them again and burnish them again. That looks good. There's a little spot up here that looks like it could be a little darker. And that looks good. It's not a perfect transfer. It's going to look faded, but you know, you see your image, which is kind of cool. It will work with color images as well. I just chose a black and white today because that's what I had. And you want to keep the cap on this. These will dry out quickly if you leave them uncapped. Chartpak Blender pen doesn't work with any kind of blender pen. The Chartpak brand blender pen is what we use. All right, so now I have my piece of fabric that's going to be my sachet. I like torn edges all the way around the outside, so I'm going to just nip there in the edge and tear it apart. So now I have two pieces that are about the same. And like I said before, if I wanted to embellish on here with a little jewel, I can do that. I'll pick one of these little crystals, place it on my piece, and I want to iron that down. To iron it down, I want to use a little pressing cloth over top. So I'll put that down on top of there. I'll take my iron let it sit for a second, a minute or so. And what that is doing is it's heating up. These are special iron-on crystals. So what that's doing is the iron is heating up the adhesive on the back side of the crystal, and it's setting it in place. Now my iron keeps turning off, and I don't know that if it's hot enough to actually set it. So yeah, it's still moving around, but you get the idea. Here's one with the crystal set on the front of it. What you want to do at this point is you want to stitch around the edges, and this one I couldn't get the iron to go either. You want to take it to the sewing machine and you want to stitch around the edges. And notice I left a hole in the top right here. So what I did is I went around it 3 times, twice with a zigzag stitch and once with a straight stitch. You can have it try and be as straight and even as you want, or embrace the messiness and just kind of randomly stitch around it. I like that look, so that's what I did. Then what I want to do is I want to take the top into this hole that I left here. I want to leave a hole that's big enough for my funnel to fit in. So my funnel is going to go through this hole in the top. Hopefully I left a big enough hole there. If not, I can remove some of the stitches. And there we go. Perfect. And then I want to pour in my lavender. Pour it into the funnel, and then a lot of times I have to kind of poke this lavender to get it down into my bag. So I just take a pencil and take the flat end of the pencil, not the pokey end. Pokey end doesn't do me any good. I take the flat end of the pencil and kind of help that lavender through the hole of the funnel. And sometimes it gets packed up in there. What you have when you finish is this lavender sachet that's filled with lavender, and you're going to take it back to the sewing machine and you're going to stitch up this remaining opening again, and you'll have a really pretty little customized lavender sachet to throw into your drawer or put in your car. I really like putting one of these in my car because the heat just really activates the smell of that lavender. It's very soothing, very relaxing. So anyway, I hope you learned something today, and we'll see you next time.